Warning, your brain thinks your growth is a threat. Hey there, quick gut check. Every time you try to grow, why does your body freak out and snap you back to safe? Here's the twist. Well, your brain tags identity change as a survival threat. Not a goal, a threat. So you're telling me the panic, the sabotage, the weird unreality? That's the system doing its job. I'm blending clinical neuroscience with the unplugged, spiritual side. Trauma forward, no fluff. The question is simple, Renmensis. How do you grow when your brain reads growth as death? We'll map the biology, DMN and DPDR, predictive coding, shadow circuitry, and a 4R framework you can run today. The biological sabotage, homeostasis, fifths, becoming. So let's start where almost nobody wants to start. Your brain is not here to make you happy. It's here to keep you the same. Walter Cannon called it homeostasis, quit. The wisdom of the body, stability first, energy conservation. Predictable inputs, predictable outputs. If you try to overhaul your identity, the system doesn't applaud. It flinches. Here's the funny thing. We like to think self equals truth. It doesn't. It's a working model. In predictive coding terms, your brain is a prediction machine trying to minimize surprise. Carl Friston calls it minimizing free energy. Fewer surprises mean less metabolic cost. Less cost means survival odds go up. So when you start acting like a new person, your signals don't match your priors. The brain sees error, not progress. And then alarms kick on. The amygdala lights up because, well, no kidding, novelty looks a lot like danger in biology. The HPA axis spins up. Cortisol rises. Your heart pace quickens. Breath shifts shallow. And your old habit loops reassert because they're reliable. It's basically like your inner ops team saying, abort mission, return to baseline. Identity change is expensive. Not just socially, biologically. New behaviors add uncertainty. Uncertainty costs energy. So the salience network tags your shiny new choice as important, then, and possibly dangerous. And the whole system narrows to protect what it knows, yesterday's you. Belonging math piles on. If self equals group, and the group expects the old you, then changing who you are risks exile. To your nervous system, exile feels like death. So the ego death people talk about in spiritual spaces? Your body hears death. Period. Ever notice how big wins can feel weirdly unsafe? That upper limit thing isn't a moral failing. It's a state ceiling. You leave the known window of arousal where your system runs clean. Now you're out past capacity, and the regulator clamps down. You delay the email. You ghost the gym. You pick a fight. Micro-sabotage is the brain buying cheap certainty. Let's make this concrete. First big change attempt. You announce a boundary. You take the risk. And right after, your body revolts. You feel floaty, unreal, maybe even detached from your own thoughts. You label it, I'm broken. That label cements the state. But what if the label is wrong? What if the system is running old code to reduce overload? Here's a useful reframe. Your sense of self is a story network. The default mode network, DMN for short, stitches autobiographical memory, future simulation, and self-talk into a steady me. Under high novelty or threat, the DMN can quiet. Task positive and salience networks take the wheel, pushing you into action or shutdown. When the DMN boundary blurs, quote, when the line between me and not me softens, the system flags unsafe. That's not enlightenment or illness by default. It's the control room cutting non-essentials to save power. And if you've lived with trauma, your threshold is lower. The alarms go off sooner, louder, and for longer. The body has learned that unpredictability equals pain, so it defends the familiar even when the familiar hurts. That's why growth can feel like grief. You're not just losing behaviors, you're retiring protections that kept you alive. Pause here and notice the math. Predictive brain says, old map good, new map expensive. Homeostasis says, keep the chemistry stable. Social circuits say, don't risk the tribe. Stack those and of course momentum fights you. You didn't fail the change. The change tripped an alarm. So you're telling me, if I plan a better future, my brain still drags me back? Yep. Because the model cares about right now survival odds. It doesn't trust delayed returns until repeated experience updates the priors. This is where Leon Festinger sneaks in. Cognitive dissonance is that aversive pull to make beliefs and actions match. If your identity says I'm the helper who never says no, then saying no creates pain. You'll twist facts, delay, or self-punish to restore consistency. Not because you're weak, maybe because your system values coherence. This is also why wins can trigger backlash. You get praise. You feel seen. Then shame scripts rearm. The brain goes, we don't get this kind of safety. Must be a trap. Snapback. The upper limit whispers, better shrink. And your body obeys. Let's throw in time. The stress chemistry spike? Think in waves. Jill Bolte Taylor's 90-second idea is handy here. The raw chemical surge of an emotion can pass quickly if you don't feed it. But when the predictor keeps shouting, danger, thoughts refuel the loop. So the wave never ends. You surf panic without landing on shore. What's the inciting incident in this story? It's that first honest attempt to act like the future you. You risk a new move, and the system reads it as identity loss. Identity loss equals death in the threat model. So you get alarms, detachment, habit rebound, and social fawning to patch belonging. If you don't understand the biology, you'll moralize it. You'll call it weakness. You'll back off. Loop complete. Here's the pivot. If change is threat tagged by design, then the work isn't to force harder. It's to update the prediction engine safely. Fewer errors at once. Shorter bursts. Real aftercare. And when the world starts to feel unreal in the process, don't panic yet. That might be the DMN dialing down so the system can rewire without frying the board. We'll dig into that unreality switch next, because if the self is a story, we need to see who's writing it, Ford net, and how to edit it without burning the pages. The unreality switch. DPDR as a misread signal. So let's talk about that weird switch that flips when you try to change and suddenly life feels like a movie set. Depersonalization and derealization. DPDR sound clinical, but the felt sense is simple. You look at your hands and they feel like props. Your voice echoes in your head. Colors go flat, time stretches or compresses, and your thoughts feel like they're happening 2 inches to the right of you. It's eerie. And the first thought is usually, I'm broken. Here's the reframe. The system might not be breaking. It might be protecting. There are at least 2 broad paths into this unreality state. One is trauma-driven DPDR. Overwhelm hits. The body slams the brakes to reduce pain. It's a forced decoupling. The other can happen during rapid identity updates, a meditation retreat, breath work, therapy breakthroughs, or just the first week you actually hold a boundary. You didn't ask to feel unreal. Your brain pulled power from the self-network to handle load. Same surface feel. Different entry points. Overlap, but not identical. What's under the hood? The default mode network, that story engine we just named, normally stitches me together, autobiographical memory, self-talk, who I am relative to others. Under high salience, big novelty, big threat, or big attention, the DMN can quiet. Task-positive networks and the salience network lead. It's a smart trade. The system offloads reflective chatter to free resources for action or shutdown. The cost is that the boundary between me and not me gets fuzzy. You feel distance from your own experience. That's depersonalization. The world looks far or fogged. That's derealization. So you're telling me the system is doing triage? Exactly. Think of it like a rolling blackout. The grid, is stressed. Non-essential districts go dim. Reflection, timestamping, rich effect, dim. Sensory gating changes, which is why lights feel harsh, sounds feel too loud, and faces look flat. Head pressure shows up because muscles around the scalp and jaw brace, and blood flow shifts. Thought echo happens because narration circuits are online but underpowered, like a podcast, buffering. Not fun, not proof you're doomed. When DPDR comes from trauma activation, the body is trying to prevent overwhelm by numbing. When it comes during a curiosity-driven shift, well, practices that quiet the DMN or moments where your identity loosens, well, it can resemble ego dissolution talked about in spiritual spaces. But wait, there's more. The system rarely labels it as growth. It flags it as unsafe because self-boundary blur is historically risky. Without a firm me, coordination can drop. In the wild, that's bad. So alarms attach to the state, even when the cause is your breathwork playlist. Here's the mislabel loop. You notice the distance. Panic spikes. You tell yourself, I'm losing my mind. That thought ramps sympathetic arousal. The salience network tags the state as danger. Now the DMN tries to snap back hard with rigid narratives to restore continuity. You're not that person, stop this nonsense, go back. That rebound feels like shame, or like a scolding parent in your head. If you believe that voice is truth, you retreat, and the system wins by reducing novelty. Short-term relief, long-term stuck. If, instead, you see DPDR as a signal, not a sentence, 9 you get options. First, markers help you sort it in the moment. Time feels off? Check the clock. If minutes feel like hours, tag it. Emotions feel flat? Tap your sternum gently and hum. If sensation is muted but present, you're likely in a protective downshift, not a void. Head pressure? Jaw release and long exhales often soften it within a couple minutes. Echo thoughts? Speak a 7-word anchor out loud. Same me, new move, safe now. Hearing your own voice recruits social safety circuits. Second, context helps. Ask, what preceded this state? If it followed a confrontation, a win, or deep practice, that's data. Your system is toggling networks in response to salience. If it's chronic, paired with high anxiety or depression, or you're losing function, please loop in a clinician. Safety first. The point here isn't to self-diagnose, it's to de-shame. Third, titration matters. Identity updates don't require frying your DMN. Shorten sessions, lower intensity, build capacity. 10 mindful breaths beat a forced hour when your window is small. Keep the lights warm, the sounds soft, the exits known. Give your system reasons to trust the switch. And there's a fourth move, thank the protector. Part of you is convinced Unreality will save you from overload. So you say, out loud, thanks for keeping me safe. We're okay. Stay nearby while I take one step. This shifts you from war to partnership. The nervous system hears tone, not philosophy. Warm prosody is medicine. One more thing, don't confuse detachment with enlightenment. Sometimes, spiritual detachment is just a neat costume for dorsal shutdown. If your life gets smaller, if you avoid people, if joy vanishes, that's not awakening, that's a body trying to feel less. We want aliveness with steadiness, not absence. So, if self is a story, DPDR is the editing bay going dark for a minute. You can freak out and pound the console, or you can light a candle, breathe, and let the board read. Next, we'll zoom into the story engine itself, the DMN minion, and see how it writes me, why it snaps back, and how to train the switch without tripping alarms. The story engine default mode network and ego boundaries. So if DPDR is the editing bay flickering, the DMN is the writer's room. The default mode network builds the steady me you wake up inside every day. It stitches yesterday's memories, today's rules, and tomorrow's plans into a single voice. It's the narrator that says, this is who we are, This is what we do. This is what people like us expect. How does it do that? 3 big jobs. First, autobiographical memory. The DMN pulls highlights from your past and compresses them into a script. Not the truth, the JIT. Second, future simulation. It runs mental dress rehearsals so you don't walk into chaos cold. Third, self-talk. It narrates your choices in real time, usually with a tone you learn from the people who raised or rated you. Put those together, and you get ego boundaries, where I stops and not me starts. Now, under high salience, fondre me. Big novelty, big risk, big attention. Fondre me. The brain flips leadership. Task-positive networks step forward to handle problem-solving. The salience network tags what matters. The DMN quiets so you can move instead of reminisce. That's good design. But here's the catch. When the DMN quiets fast, your sense of continuity thins. You feel less me. If you expected it, mumbar like in meditation, flow, or awe, it can feel beautiful. If you didn't, it feels unsafe. And then the rebound hits. The moment the load drops, the DMN tries to snap the rubber band back to baseline. Ego backlash. Rigid narratives return hard because the system wants certainty now. You'll hear old lines with fresh force tactics. Don't get cocky. You always quit. People like you don't do that. That's not a moral judgment from the sky. It's the story engine trying to close open loops fast. Social prediction is baked in here. The DMN doesn't just track me, it tracks me to them. It runs shame and pride math on the fly. If you grew up learning that belonging required a certain shape, your DMN will model that shape as safe. Any move that risks the shape gets tagged wrong, even if it's right for you now. So after a win, you might feel a cringe wave. The social simulator is bracing for loss of status, loss of warmth, loss of rule. Weird, right? But the body counts belonging like calories. So you're telling me the snapback isn't sabotage, it's maintenance. Exactly. It's a thermostat reaction. You turned the dial toward new me. The DMN felt the room change. It cranks heat back to familiar. That's why dramatic overhauls rarely stick. The error signal is huge, the rebound is huge, and you land lower than before. The brain loves gradients. It hates cliffs. Can you train the switch? Yes, but not by force. Think in reps. You toggle DMN down on purpose for small windows, then let it come back with a gentler rebound. Meditation does this. Focused work does this. Awe does this. But the secret isn't just quieting the DMN. It's what you feed it on the way back up. If you re-enter with kinder self-talk and updated social predictions, the story engine will write a new scene, not remake the old one shot for shot. Here's a practical way to feel the switch. Do 1 minute of narrow focus. Pick a point on the wall, soften your breath, count exhales. Notice the chatter fade just a touch. Then look around the room slowly, naming colors. Feel the me return. That's a micro toggle. No fireworks, no panic. But over time, your system learns that boundary softness can end in safety, not chaos. The DMN updates its priors. Now, ego backlash. It's sneaky. After quiet, you might notice judgment spikes. That's the DMN trying to draw hard lines to feel solid again. You can meet it with part-friendly language. Hey critic, thanks for trying to keep us in bounds. We're not in trouble. Same me, new move. That tone matters. Warm prosody signals social safety, which softens the rebound. Cold logic rarely does. Another layer context. The DMN builds me from what you do most, not what you believe most. If you say you're bold but act avoidant, the DMN codes avoidant as identity, because that's the data. So identity change needs acts, not arguments. Tiny, repeated embodied acts, paired with safety, so the story engine has something to write with. What about shame scripts? They roam because shame is a fast way to enforce group rules. The DMN learned that tool early. You can swap the tool without lying to yourself. Try this. When shame hits after a new move, label it as a social prediction, not a verdict. Say, my brain is guessing rejection to keep me safe. Data noted. Then text a safe person or picture their face. That recruits the same networks in a safer direction. Midpoint question. Can we train the switch without panic or collapse? Yes. By shrinking the delta between states, lengthening the return ramp, and seeding kinder lines for the DMN to grab. No cliffs. No heroics. Lots of boring, steady toggles. So the plan is simple, not easy. Quiet the DMN on purpose in short sets. Return with warmth. Pair new identity acts with co-regulation. Log the wobble so your future self sees proof of safety. Over weeks, the story engine stops snapping as hard. Boundaries feel less like prison walls and more like stretchy fabric. And when the switch still feels scary, remember why prediction errors. The DMN hates first steps because priors outrank signals. You move first, it argues. You move again, it edits. Keep the edits small, and the writer's room won't mutiny. Next, we'll crack that prediction engine open and see why the first step hurts so much. And how to take it without feeding the error storm. Prediction errors, why your brain hates first steps. So here's where the rubber meets the road. Predictive coding says your brain runs on guesses. It builds priors, MoMA shortcuts from what usually happens, and then checks incoming signals against those priors to minimize surprise. Surprise is expensive. It means more computation, more energy, and more risk. So when you take a first step that doesn't match the old script, the brain flags a big prediction error. Not cute, not small, big. Think about walking into a dark room you've memorized. Your body expects 3 steps: left turn, light switch. If the chair moved 2 inches, your toe slams it. That sting is prediction error. Now scale that to identity. Old prioring, I say yes to keep peace. New signal, I just said no. Error spike. The system doesn't say, wow, growth. It says, something's off. Fix it fast. And because priors carry weight, the brain trusts them more than fresh data. It's Bayesian math under the hood, Meaton strong prior. Weak new evidence gets discounted. So you do the new act, but the mind churns arguments for why it was wrong. That churn is the comfort loop. Familiar pain, familiar story, lower surprise. Unfamiliar peace, high surprise, higher cost. Certainty bias chooses the devil you know. Micro-sabotage starts right there. Delay is the first move. I'll send the email after lunch. Debate is next. Maybe it's not the right time. Then downgrade. I'll just hint, not ask. Or deal-making with the old self. If I help them this once, I can rest later. Each move reduces error by returning to the prior, so it feels like relief. But it's rented relief. The price is stuckness. Here's the thing, most people miss error stacking. One new act throws the system. 2 or 3 in a row can flip you into a crisis state. Not because the acts are bad, but because the cumulative surprise blew your budget. Allostatic load rises. Sleep wobbles. Appetite slips. You start seeing threat where there is none. The salience network goes sticky. Everything feels loud. Perfect time to call yourself a failure, right? That's how the loop locks. So you're telling me my brain hates first steps because they're expensive, not because they're wrong. Exactly. And the cost isn't just mental. Novel moves change sensory flow, motor plans, and social predictions. That's a lot of channels to reweight at once. The nervous system prefers gradients. First step too big? The error signal screams. First step small. Repeated? The error dulls as the prior updates. That's the whole game. Let's make it felt. You decide to speak first in a meeting. Prior says, stay quiet. When you open your mouth, interoception spikes heart, breath, heat. That's your body predicting risk. After you speak, there's a micro lag where the brain hunts for outcome data. If no one reacts fast, the uncertainty window opens, and shame rushes to fill it. Shame is a fast, cheap way to end the search. You were wrong. Don't try that again. Prediction error closed. Certainty achieved. Damage done. Here's how to beat that window. Preload a microscript and a body cue. Before you speak, press your thumb and forefinger together. That becomes your anchor. After you speak, breathe out slow through pursed lips and say, quietly, "Same me, new move, safe now." You just gave the system a predicted post-act ritual. Next time, the error will be smaller because part of the scene is now familiar. Another trick: narrow the slice you're updating. Instead of "I'm a boundary person now," pick "I end one call at 30 minutes this week." That defines context, time, and cap. Specificity shrinks uncertainty. The brain can simulate it better, which lowers surprise when it happens. You're hacking the Bayesian update by boosting the quality of expected evidence. Also, budget for backlash. Build an error budget like you'd budget money. 3 novelty units this week. That could be 1 assertive email, 1 gym session, 1 honest no. After each, you schedule a 90-second reset to clear chemistry, then a 10-minute aftercare block, sunlight, protein, a text to a safe person. You teach the system that novelty comes with repair. Priors update faster when recovery is predictable. Watch for the debate trap. The mind will try to resolve error with more thinking. But thoughts alone rarely shift priors that came from action. Flip the order, act small, then explain gently. Don't flip it. If you catch yourself drafting a perfect argument for change, stop and choose a tiny behavior that proves it first. Identity follows evidence. And about certainty bias, 9 it's sneaky. You'll find yourself choosing known suboptimal options because they reduce variance. Label it out loud. I'm choosing certainty over accuracy. That line breaks the spell just enough to try 1% more novelty. Not a cliff, a curb. Last point. Prediction errors are not the enemy. They're the teaching signal. If you never feel them, you're not updating. The goal is to keep them tolerable and frequent, not massive and rare. Small errors, fast recovery, logged wins. That's how priors shift from old me to same me, new moves. Next, we'll hit the threshold moments when the system reads identity risk as literal danger. The dark night and why Freeze and Fawn show up. So here's where the story gets messy. You've learned the signals. You've taken small steps. And somehow, your wins start tripping bigger alarms. You sleep worse after progress. You feel flat right after courage. It's like the system waits for your guard to drop, then yanks you back. 2 steps forward, 2.5 back. Welcome to the dark night of the neural loop. Complications come first. Gains expose sensitivity you didn't know you had. You land a boundary, then noise bothers you for a day. You finish a hard task, then can't answer a text. That's not regression, it's the allostatic bill arriving. Novelty taxed the system. Now the regulator is strict. If you don't know the pattern, you'll label the slump as failure and throw a match on the bridge you just built. Then, the reversals. Insight doesn't soothe at first, it tugs wires loose. You spot the fawn impulse sooner, but the seeing itself lights up the salience network. More salience equals more arousal. Skills lag safety at this stage. You know more, but your body trusts less, so you try to think your way calm. The DMN grabs the mic and narrates doom, not because it's right, because narration is what it knows. Now the middle of the night part. Meaning collapses a little. The goals that felt alive last week can look fake today. You watch yourself move, and it all feels like a roll. That's depersonalization shadowing your values. When the DMN loosens, the self-story goes quiet. Your why gets fuzzy. If you chase a big why in that state, you'll sprint in circles and call it purpose. Don't. That's how people blow joints. So what do? You make a decision about meaning that doesn't depend on mood. Treat symptoms as data, not danger. Map. Don't moralize. If you feel flat after a win, write, flatness after novelty, expected. If shame hits post-boundary, log, shame equals social prediction, not truth. That's it. You're building a field journal that your future self can trust when your present self can't feel. And pace becomes a rule, not a vibe. Titration preserves agency. You start measuring novelty load, like weight on a bar. 3 novelty units a week is training. 10 is a tear. You don't need bigger courage. You need steadier reps. When in doubt, cut the dose. Raise the frequency and add aftercare. Prosody, protein, sunlight, sleep pressure. Boring is holy here. So you're telling me meaning might feel fake while I'm doing the right thing. Yes, because the self-story is updating. The DMN keeps trying to reconcile old identity with new acts. Until the evidence piles high, it writes weird scenes. That's why your mind says, "This isn't me," right after you finally act like yourself. It's not lying, it's lagging. Here's a clean structure to hold you through the wobble. First, pre-commit to a 7-day observation window whenever you raise the load. You don't rate your life in that window. You only log state, act, and effect. Second, set floor behaviors that don't move. Eat a real breakfast. 10 minutes of zone 2 walk. 1 co-regulation ping, lights down by 10. Floors stop spirals. Third, cap exposure. End reps before you redline. Ending on purpose trains trust. Reversals keep coming though. You'll have a day where you feel amazing, so you stack 3 brave acts, skip the reset, and wake up cooked. Classic. The fix is not apology tours or self-lectures. The fix is a red day plan that kicks in automatically. Fewer decisions, slower breath, outside light, soft voice only, no new goals. Red days are not lost days, they're repair shifts. If you respect them, you bounce instead of break. Now the midpoint crisis. Values feel thin. The old anchors don't pull. You're tempted to pick a new identity wholesale. Don't. That's a cliff. In this phase, trade capital V values for lowercase versus values. Honest, kind, steady, one move at a time. You don't need a new life purpose. You need a next aligned act that your nervous system can survive. And because the system loves patterns, plant a stable loop. Before any novelty, run a 30-second orient. After any novelty, run a 90-second autonomic reset. Then a 1-line reframe. Same me, new move, safe now. That's your sandwich. Predictive coding learns the bread. The filling can vary. Over time, the brain anticipates repair and lowers alarm before you even start. One more reversal. Loneliness creeps in right when you're proud. Social homeostasis wobbles. You look around and feel weirdly far from people. That isn't proof you chose wrong. It's the cost of exiting role armor. You can soften it by adding a social buffer on purpose. Text a steady friend your plan before the act, and your win after. Your system learns that connection follows truth, not only fawning. So the dark night isn't a mistake. It's the middle of any real update. The job isn't to feel certain. It's to stay oriented, keep reps small, and let meaning regrow from lived proof. From here, we deploy a field kit that sorts fear from instinct in real time and walks you out of egospasm without burning your life down. Extraction kit for egospasms. 3-step field protocol. Alright, live field kit time. When the identity death alarm hits, thinking harder won't save you. You need a short, repeatable sequence that sorts signals, clears the chemistry, and gives your DMN a safe line to grab on the return. 3 steps. Names, not novels. Moves, not theories. Step 1. Name the mode. You've got 3 main modes on the edge. Threat, grief, growth. Threat feels red. Tunnel vision. Noise too loud. Breath holds. Hands cold. Auto smile, or word rounding. Grief feels heavy and warm. Lump in throat. Wet eyes. Chest ache. Yawns. Slower breath. Growth feels buzzy yellow, butterflies, quick thoughts, time jumping, hope mixed with nerves. Say it out loud in 7 words or less. Red threat, freeze Fawn mix, high charge, or yellow edge, buzzy, safe enough. The point isn't poetry, it's tagging the network that's driving. When you label a state, you 1. Shift activity toward prefrontal control just enough to steer, and the salience network stops guessing blind. Step 2. Sort signals. You're deciding if this pull is gut instinct, a fear glitch, or a value tug. Quick body markers help. Gut instinct is quiet and specific. 1 sentence, low volume, no debate. Fear glitch is loud and looping. Many reasons. All or nothing. Catastrophe scenes. Muscle bracing. Value tug feels warm charged. Steady pull. Bittersweet. A picture of who you want to be. Ask 3 questions fast. What am I protecting? What am I avoiding? What am I moving toward? If protecting is the only answer, and the image is blurry but scary, that's likely a glitch. If moving toward shows a clear scene that matches your small v values, honest, kind, steady, that's a value tug. If avoiding points to a very real near-term consequence, like breaking a legal agreement or risking injury, trust the instinct and slow down. You're not arguing with the body. You're sorting signal quality, so you don't mistake noise for wisdom. Step 3. Short-circuit the loop with a 90-second autonomic reset. Not because vibes, because chemistry. The stress surge rides a half-life window. If you don't feed it with doom narration, it crests and drops. Here's a simple reset you can run anywhere. Exhale long through pursed lips for 6 to 8 seconds. Pause 2 beats. Inhale soft through the nose for 4. Repeat 5 times. Add a soft hum on 1 exhale and feel your chest buzz. That tickles the vagus and tells the midbrain we're okay. Now orient. Turn your head slowly. Track 3 corners, 3 colors, 3 textures. Last, shake your hands like you're flicking water, then stretch your jaw gently side to side. 90 seconds, tops. That's your downshift. Now with chemistry cooling, make a micro move that matches the sorted signal. If it was a fear glitch, pick a tiny act toward your value. 1 sentence boundary. 1 sentence email. 1 step into the gym, and then leave on purpose. If it was gut instinct saying stop, honor it without drama. Say, not now, and schedule a new check-in time. If it was grief, let it be grief. Cry, yawn, sigh. Then do 1 small self-care. Water, protein, sunlight. You're proving to your system that feelings complete without collapse. Practice cadence matters more than intensity. Tiny reps, high frequency. 5 to 7 runs of this kit a day beat 1 heroic session. Think of it like CO2 tolerance for your identity. You raise capacity by flirting the edge, not by drowning. Keep the reps boring. The brain updates faster when it can predict the sequence. Field prompts help when your words go missing. Try. Which contract is live right now? Safety over joy. Suffering equals worth? Name it, thank it, and write a 1-line update. Safety is served by small joy today. Or, worth is earned by honesty, not pain. Speak it aloud with warm tone. Prosody counts. Your nervous system is listening to music, not grammar. Here are 3 quick scenarios to ground it. Meeting starts, your chest tightens, auto smile lands. Step 1. Red threat, fawn tilt. Step 2. Sorting, fear glitch, because the only image is them mad. Step 3. Reset. 3 long exhales. Hum. Orient. Micro-move. I'll speak once in 10 words, then stop. After. Protein bar. 2-minute walk. Text a safe friend a checkmark. Second, you just said no to a family ask. Flatness hits. Step 1. Grief, warm heavy. Step 2. Value tug confirmed, moving toward rest. Step 3. Reset size, orient, soft jaw, micro move, 10-minute lie down, lights low. After, short message, love you, talk tomorrow. Third, new project offer, heart races, head says, you'll fail. Step 1. Yellow edge, high buzz. Step 2. Sorting value tug image is clear. Learning, aligned. Fear glitch is loud, but vague. Step 3. Reset. 5 breaths, hum, shake. Micro move, reply yes with a scope cap, then calendar a prep block. Aftercare. Sunlight, 3-minute sway, one kind line to self. Same me, new move, safe now. A last tip, close every representative on purpose. Don't drift. Say, kit complete, back to baseline. That line signals the DMN to stitch coherence, instead of writing this as chaos. Then log it with 3 words: state, act, effect. Over a week, you'll see patterns. Your story engine will too. That's how you exit ego spasm and keep the change small, honest, and repeatable. Shadow circuitry, stored paths, not demons. Alright, let's open the cabinet most people label shadow and stop pretending it's mystical evil. It's stored paths, old solutions that once kept you safe. Neural shortcuts wired by repetition, emotion, and social reward. When those paths run today, they look like sabotage. They're not demons. They're drafts that never got edited. Start with a clean definition. Shadow is the cluster of learned constraints and unmet needs you pushed off stage to keep belonging and stability. It's the move you repeat when your body predicts risk. Not because you love it, because it worked once. The amygdala tagged it as protective. The DMN wrote it into the script. Then you stopped noticing it, because that's what automation feels like. Cognitive dissonance plays bouncer here. Festinger's old insight holds. We seek internal consistency, even if it's built on outdated contracts. When your act and your identity don't match, dissonance aches. To end the ache fast, you'll pick the familiar story over the truer one. Not because you're broken, because the system reduces error by siding with history. That's shadow at work. So what do these stored paths look like in daily life? Role armor. You put on a suit that bought love or safety. The good kid who anticipates needs to avoid anger. The fixer, who ends every fire to earn a seat. The winner, who outruns shame with results. The ghost, who vanishes before anyone can reject them. Each role solved a real problem once. Each role becomes a cage when the context changes. Here's the loyalty twist. You're not just loyal to habits. You're loyal to people and moments that taught you those habits. That's why shadow feels moral. Saying no doesn't just break a pattern. It feels like betraying younger you, or the caregiver you kept calm, or the coach you impressed. The nervous system codes that as threat because it risks the glue that held your world together. Now, because the brain hates blank space, it fills the gap between old role and new desire with stories. Consistency drives those stories. If you're the helper, rest equals selfish. If you're the winner, ease equals slacking. If you're the ghost, visibility equals danger. You will cherry-pick data to confirm the role because confirmation calms. The neural path strengthens every time you pick it. That's Hebbian learning, not fate. Let's pause and thank the paths. Seriously. The good kid kept peace when you had no power. The fixer kept chaos from eating the house. The winner got you resources nobody else would give. The ghost saved you from fights you couldn't win. You survived because these worked. Gratitude unlocks the door that shame keeps locked. Reconciliation starts with integration, not eviction. You don't delete a path, you update its job. Shadow is a protector with outdated instructions. Your work is to meet the unmet needs it guarded and rewrite the contract in plain words your body can trust. Try this structure. Step 1. Spot the path by sensation, not just thought. Good kid shows up as chest cave and quick nods. Fixer feels like leaning forward with hot hands. Winner tightens the jaw, eyes narrow. Ghost makes your gaze slide off faces and your feet point to the door. Sensation is your tell because stories lie. Bodies repeat. Step 2. Name the original job. Say it out loud. You kept Dad calm so we didn't get hit. You solved things so they didn't leave. You overachieved so you could matter. You disappeared so the storm passed over. Clean. No judgment. The DMN hears narrative. The amygdala hears tone. Keep both warm and direct. Step 3. Meet the current need before you change the act. If the good kid is guarding against anger, create a buffer. Text a friend you'll call after the boundary. If the fixer fears chaos, define a small zone you won't touch. If the winner fears worthlessness, pre-write a line of appreciation not tied to results. If the ghost fears shame, set a time cap for visibility with an exit plan. Safety first, then novelty. Step 4. Update the contract in one sentence that keeps the virtue and drops the cost. For the good kid, I keep peace by telling the truth early. For the fixer, I solve my part and leave theirs to them. For the winner, I earn with effort and rest with right. For the ghost, I stay present for 5 minutes, then I choose. Speak it aloud. 7 to 12 words. Warm voice. Here's a live example. You're about to decline a last-minute request. Good kid surges. Chest caves. Smile pops. Old contract. Say yes fast so no one's mad. New contract. I keep respect by answering clear and kind. Micro move. I can't today. Tuesday at 2 works. Then immediately text your ally. Sent the line. Your system learns that truth plus connection equals safety. Another. Your partner struggles and fixer wakes. Hands hot, brain scanning solutions. Old contract. Solve it or lose love. New contract. Love listens first, then asks consent to help. Micro move. Do you want ideas or company? If they say company, you breathe with them. You meet the need behind the path. Closeness, without burning yourself down. The winner one is tricky because society rewards it. You finish a project and reach for the next without feeling the win. Old contract. Results erase shame. New contract. I mark progress before I move. Micro move. Stand up. Look far out a window. Say one kind sentence to yourself, then pick the next small task. You're teaching your nervous system to feel safe in completion, not just in chase. And the ghost. You get praise and instantly want to hide. Old contract. Visibility invites attack. New contract. I choose when and how I'm seen. Micro move. Reply. Thank you. I'm glad it helped. Then put your phone down and walk outside for 2 minutes. You were seen. You stayed. You left on purpose. Autonomy restored. Final layer. Repair the unmet needs directly. If good kid never got to be messy, schedule harmless mess. Paint. Garden. Loud music. If fixer never got help, ask for one small favor weekly. If winner never felt loved without performance, plan 1 0 output hang with a safe person. If ghost never felt safe in a group, find a tiny circle where silence is okay. This isn't cute, it's recoding. Shadow circuitry is stored paths. You honor the origin, meet the need, rename the job, and rehearse the new line in low-stakes reps. No exorcism, no shame, just updates. From here, we'll map 5 hidden contracts you'll spot in the wild, and show you how to rewrite them on the fly. Self-sabotage patterns. The 5 hidden contracts. Okay, maps on the table. These 5 hidden contracts run most "I know better but I don't do better" moments. They aren't curses. They're agreements your nervous system signed to keep you safe. We're going to name each contract, show its scripts and tells, and give you a rewrite line you can run under heat. Contract 1. Safety over joy. Stay small to stay seen. The script is simple. If I shine, I'll lose them. The tells are sneaky. You downplay wins. You crack a joke when praise lands. Your body tucks, shoulders in, breath shallow, eyes drop. You choose familiar tension over unfamiliar ease, because tension predicts the room. Joy feels like a cliff. Rewrite stance, gentle exposure. Pick tiny joy in plain sight. 1 compliment received with "thank you" full stop. 1 hour doing the thing you hide, with a time cap and an aftercare plan. Contract update line. I keep safety by letting small joy be seen. Stay it warm. Prosody matters. Contract 2. Suffering equals worth. Earn space through pain. The script. If it isn't hard, it doesn't count. Tells include overwork spikes before rest, guilt when something is easy, and a weird relief when you're exhausted, because now you deserve a break. Body markers. Jaw tight, brow knit, breath forced, relief only after collapse. Rewrite stance. Decouple effort from permission. Practically, pre-approve rest. Schedule a 10-minute off-ramp before you're spent. Mark progress when it's easy, on purpose. Update line. My worth is steady. Effort is choice. Use it after every small win, especially the easy ones. Contract 3. Control or collapse. Perfection protects love. The script is black and white. If I let 1 plate wobble, they'll all smash, and I'll be alone. Tells. Endless tweaking before sharing. Just 1 more pass. Panic when timelines shift, and a bodily freeze at minor feedback. Your nervous system equates imperfection with exile. Rewrite stance. Choose visible 80%. Share drafts by deadline, not by feeling. Build an error budget. 3 visible imperfections this week, logged and celebrated. Update line. Connection survives my 80%. Bonus move. Ask for tiny feedback on 1 slice. Your amygdala updates when imperfection ends in warmth. Contract 4. Outsource self. Mirror others to avoid exile. The script. Tell me who to be, and I'll keep the peace. Tells. Rapid code switching. Changing your take mid-sentence to match the room. Feeling empty when alone. Body tells. Chest leans forward. Eyes scan faces. Voice pitch rises. Rewrite stance. Micro ownership reps. Make 1 preference choice daily with another human present. Start small. Music. Seating. Time caps. Anchor with a body cue before you speak. Then hold the choice through the first cringe wave. Update line. I can stay me while we stay we. If shame spikes, label it as a social prediction and ride the 90-second reset. Contract 5. Future relief. Delay now to feel safe later. The script. I'll rest when it's done. I'll start when I'm ready. Comfort is after the next hill. Tells. Planning loops. Calendar Tetris. Buying courses you don't open. And relief fantasies that never arrive. Body markers. Forward head. Shallow top breaths. Buzzing skin. You live 1 step ahead of your feet. Rewrite stance. Present tense permission. Deliver relief in tiny, guaranteed doses, tied to starts, not finishes. 1 sip of water. 1 sun minute. 1 exhale before the task, not after. Update line. Relief first, then 1 honest step. How to spot which contract is live. Use triggers and tells. Novelty plus eyes on you often pull safety over joy. Unstructured days awaken future relief. High-stakes performance summons control or collapse. Caregiving or conflict calls outsource self. Success or ease lights. Suffering equals worth. If you can't parse it, speak this umbrella line. Which deal am I honoring right now? Then wait. The first role image that pops, helper, hero, ghost, pleaser, is your hint. Repair stance across all 5. Gentle, exposure plus contract rewrite. You dose novelty 1 notch above comfort. You run the 90-second reset. You speak the new line, and you end on purpose while still safe. That last part trains trust. If you wait for red line, your DMN will write novelty as danger. If you stop a little early, it writes novelty as tolerable. Now some field scripts you can keep in your pocket. Safety over joy. When praise lands, thank you, I'm letting this land. Then 1 long exhale. Look far. Log it. Suffering equals worth. When a task was easy, easy counts. I'm allowed to stop. Stand. Shake hands. Protein bite. Control or collapse. When you want another tweak. Deadline wins. Sharing at 80. I'm safe imperfect. Hit send, then walk. Outsource self. When asked what you want, I pick the window seat. Voice low, slow. 2 breaths, then smile you choose. Future relief. Before you start. Relief now. 1 sip, 1 exhale. Then 1 line. Set a 2-minute timer. Stop on the bell. And when you break a contract, because you will, skip the moralizing. Run a repair script. Old deal ran to keep me safe. I'm updating now. Then do the smallest aligned act available in 60 seconds or less. Identity follows evidence. Evidence follows acts. Acts follow safety. You don't argue these contracts into dust. You out-representative them with kinder deals that keep the virtues and drop the cost. From here, with the maps set, we'll build the replacement identity muscle, the 4R framework for rebirth, so you can grow without
we've mapped
tripping
the traps,
the
the
loops, the death alarm. Here's the part your nervous system can trust. A state-led way to grow without tripping it. No cliffs. No heroics. The 4R framework. Recognize, reframe, regulate, repeat. 4 moves that work together like gears. Dose novelty, update predictions, and keep the DMN from snapping back hard. We thread this through work, love, and habits, with scaffolds so your system feels held the whole way. Principle first. Titrated identity beats dramatic overhauls. Small inputs. Frequent. You're training tolerance for prediction error, not chasing epiphanies. Think of it like zone 2 for the self. Slight edge. Long enough to adapt. Stop before red. If you can feel, I could go more, end there. Ending while safe is the signal that rewires trust. Your brain updates faster from repeated, tolerable wins than from one giant leap followed by a crash. Recognizes where it starts. Threat literacy and state labeling right away. Color-coded if that helps. Red for threat, yellow for edge, green for growth. You're not trying to be a poet. You're trying to tag the network that's driving the bus. Breath tight, tunnel lens, thoughts fast. Probably red. Buzz in the gut. Mind lively, eyes curious. Yellow. Warm, steady, present, green. You log 3 body checks a day. Morning, mid, evening. Like brushing your teeth. The routine itself becomes safety. Pre-commit, if-then plans. If yellow, in a meeting, I share 1 sentence, then stop. If red at home, I run the 90-second reset. Exit criteria included. No guessing under heat. Then, reframe. From danger to data without lying to yourself. You swap. I'm failing for. My system's learning. You translate symptoms. Tremor means charge leaving. Doubt means old map loud. You use part-friendly language so protectors don't turn into enemies. Thanks, Fixer, you kept me safe. I'm trying a smaller step. And you keep scripts short. 7 to 12 words, because long logic collapses under arousal. Same me. New move. Safe now. Or, Connection survives my 80%. Tone warm, pace slow. The nervous system hears music first. But reframes only stick if the body calms. That's regulate. Acute resets. Then capacity building. Acute. Exhale bias breathing. Soft humming till your chest buzzes. Cold splash on cheeks. Slow head turns to orient. Eyes soften to widen the field. 90 seconds. Tops. Then build capacity off stage. CO2 tolerance work. Easy zone 2 walks. Tremor release basics. You add social safety on purpose. One steady voice you can text a color to. Safe touch if it's available. Voices with prosody that say you're okay without a speech. Aftercare is not optional. Protein, sodium, light, sleep pressure. You restore baseline so the DMN has clean data to stitch. And you cap your sets. 2 to 5 minutes. Stop while still safe. Repeat is where identity bakes in. Daily micro-acts that match the new self. Inside an error budget you plan, not fear. You expect wobble. No moral meaning. Spaced exposure beats binge bravery. Dose novelty a notch above comfort. Log state act effect. And review weekly. Retire wins on purpose. You literally cross them out and raise load a hair. The DMN learns from what you do often, not what you intend loudly. So you create a boring, beautiful loop. Let's thread this through real life. Work first. You need to ship drafts sooner without spiraling. Recognize. Yellow edge at 3 p.m. Jaw tight, eyes narrow. Reframe. Sharing at 80. Connection survives. Regulate. 3 long exhales. 1 hum. Orient to the far wall. Repeat. Send 1 draft by the calendar time, not by feeling. 3 times this week. Aftercare. Stand. Look outside. Protein. Log it. Yellow. Sent at 80. Safe. Love next. You want to state a boundary without fawning. Recognize. Red threat. Smile pops on its own. Reframe. Respect equals clear and kind. Regulate. Pursed lip exhale. 2-finger wrist press. Eye scan left right. Repeat. 1 sentence boundary. Then, stop speaking. Text your ally a green heart after. Aftercare. 2 minutes shoulder to shoulder with a safe person or a warm voice note to yourself. Log it. Red to yellow. Said 1 line. Survived. Habits. You want consistent movement without perfection traps. Recognize. Future relief script live. I'll work out later. Reframe. Relief first. Then 1 honest step. Regulate. 1 sip water. 1 hum. Stand and sway. Repeat. 2 minutes of movement now. Cap on purpose. Add 10 seconds every other day. Aftercare. Sunlight on face. Mark the representative. Log. Yellow. Moved 2. Mood +1. Safety scaffolds hold the whole thing up. Social buffer. 1 ally who knows your color code and your scripts. Primed to reply with a steady line, not fixes. Time caps. Set timers for reps and for exits. Aftercare plans. Decide food, light, and rest before you start, not after you crash. And a red day plan on your fridge. Fewer choices. Slow breath. Outside light. No new goals. Kind voice only. You're building rails, so you don't need willpower at the edge. Here's your through line. Recognize gives you a map. Reframe changes the meaning. Regulate changes the chemistry. Repeat changes the priors. When priors change, prediction errors shrink. When errors shrink, the DMN stops slamming you back to yesterday. Same you. Updated script. You grow inside a nervous system that trusts you won't throw it off a cliff. That's rebirth without the wreckage. Recognize, threat literacy, and state labeling. Hey there. This is where we turn feelings into signals you can use. Recognize means threat literacy and state labeling. Right away, in plain words your body understands. Red, yellow, green. Not cute. not spiritual. Just traffic lights for your nervous system, so you stop guessing under heat. Red is threat. It's the chemistry of protect now. Tells. Tunnel vision, pupils a little bigger, sounds feel sharp. Breath holds or goes choppy, hands cool, face does that auto smile, or your words round off to please. Inner voice talks, fast in absolutes. Always, never, must. Time either stalls or races. Red wants safety, not insight. Treat it that way. Yellow is edge, charge without collapse, buzz in the gut, chest alive. Thoughts quick but not hijacked. Curiosity flickers, eyes still scan. You can choose here. It's the training zone. You can do a small brave thing if you cap it on purpose. Yellow is where reps live, green is growth. Warm, steady, present, breath low and even. Eyes soft, field wide. Humor returns. You can feel your feet. Values feel close enough to reach. Green is for planning, not proving. Bank it for later. So you're telling me I need to check colors all day? Not all day, just often enough that your DMN learns there's a map. 3 body checks a day is the floor. Morning, midday, evening. Each one takes 10 seconds. Ask, what color? What tells? What one move? Log it in a note. G breath steady, plan draft. Y buzz chest, share 1 sentence. R tunnel, run reset. Body tells make this real. Breath is the headline. In red, you'll hold it without noticing, or pant high in the chest. In yellow, it's quick, but smooth. In green, it's slow and low. Pupils? Red and yellow dilate a bit. Green softens. Posture gives you away. Red caves or puffs. Shoulders up by ears, chin jut or collapse. Yellow stacks you over your feet. Green feels like hanging from a string. Inner voice tempo matters too. In red, thoughts are staccato and certain. In yellow, they're lively and aimable. In green, they're slow and kind. Skin temp joins the chorus. Cold hands often mean sympathetic spike or dorsal drop. Warm palms usually mean you're back in the window. Track triggers so you don't take them personally. Novelty, scrutiny, quiet, praise, sudden luck. Those 5 flip people more than anything. Add lack of sleep, bright lights, hunger, stale air, and your margin thins. The point isn't to hide from triggers. It's to see them coming and set a dose you can survive. Pre-commitments do the heavy lifting when your brain wants to negotiate. If-then plans anchor you to the floor. If I'm yellow in a meeting, I share 1 line, then stop. If I'm red at home, I run the 90-second reset before I answer. If praise lands and I want to shrink, I say thank you and breathe out slow. Exit criteria save you from cliffs. I stop while still safe, not when I'm empty. Use a shared language with 1 ally. Text colors, not essays. Y, 1 line today. R, running reset. G, planning window. Ask them to reply with warm, short lines only. No fixes. Your nervous system needs tone and predictability, not a TED Talk. Prosody over philosophy, always. Tools to keep you honest. Set 3 silent alarms labeled check, color breath posture. When it buzzes, you glance down your tells. Breath low or high. Shoulders up or draped. Eyes narrow or soft. Name it out loud in 7 words or less. Yellow edge, breath quick, safe enough. Red threat, tunnel lens, pause now. The speaking matters. Saying it recruits just enough prefrontal control to steer, and it tells the salience network it's been seen. Track triggers by category, not blame. Novelty with eyes on me. Quiet after conflict. Praise after wins. Sudden luck. Write them once. Then plant micro buffers in front of each. Novelty with eyes on me. Orient before, cap after. Quiet after conflict. Text an ally at dot to break isolation. Praise after wins. 2-breath rule before any deflecting joke. What about days when everything reads red? That's a red day plan, not a personal failing. Fewer choices. Slower breath. Outside light. Protein and salt. No new goals. Kind voice only. Mark the whole day red at 9 a.m. and stop arguing with it. You'll bounce faster because you didn't spend energy pretending you're yellow. One more practical loop. Before novelty. 30-second orient. During. Breath checks every minute. After. 90-second reset. Then a one-line reframe. Same me, new move, safe now. Then you log state, act, effect. Over a week, you'll see your colors shift earlier, not later. That's the game. Early recognition means smaller corrections. Smaller corrections mean fewer crashes. Fewer crashes mean your DMN stops writing change as chaos and starts writing it as Tuesday. So threat literacy is not fear hunting, it's weather reading. You don't scold a storm. You close windows, you light a candle, you wait a beat, you keep your plans small. Red, yellow, green. Breath, pupils, posture, voice, skin. Triggers named. If-then, plans primed. Exits set. Recognize gives you a map you can carry in your pocket, even when your hands shake. From here, we flip the meaning without gaslighting your body. Reframe, from danger to data. Alright, we've got colors on the board. Now we flip meaning without gaslighting the body. Reframe doesn't mean, think happy. It means translate alarms into useful signals, so the system stops treating growth like a house fire. Start simple. Swap I'm failing for. My system is learning, not cute. Accurate. Prediction errors feel like danger because novelty is expensive. So when shakes hit, say, this is the update signal. When doubt shouts, say, old map loud right now. You're not erasing fear. You're labeling the source so the salience network calms. Symptoms get new names. Tremor? Charge leaving. Flatness after a boundary? Repair mode. Head pressure? Muscles braced. Blood flow shifting. Not proof you're broken. Time wobble? DMN toggling. The editor stepped out. Each translation turns chaos into a checklist. And when you run checklists, your midbrain stops hunting ghosts. Here's the funny thing. The words matter less than the tone and length. Under heat, long logic collapses. 7 to 12 words sticks. Same me, new move, safe now. Connection survives my 80%. Relief first, then one honest step. You speak slow, low, warm. Prosody is the back door. Your Vegas hears music, not essays. Part-friendly language keeps protectors on your side. Instead of, ugh, my inner critic sucks, try, hey critic, thanks for keeping us in bounds. We're safe. Smaller step. Instead of, stop fawning, say, thanks, smoother, you kept us warm. I'm trying clear and kind. Appreciation lowers resistance. You're updating a teammate, not firing them mid-game. Let's make it real. Red in a meeting, auto smile on. Old frame. I'm weak. I can't do this. New frame. Red threat. Fawn tilt. Protector online. Thanks, smoother. One honest line, then stop. You've kept truth and safety in the same room. That's the whole point. Another. Yellow before sending a draft. Old frame. If I share, they'll judge me. New frame. Yellow edge means capacity. Sharing at 80 is the training representative. Connection survives my 80%. Hit send. Then look far and breathe out. The reframe cues the act and the aftercare. Praise lands and you want to shrink. Old frame. I don't deserve this. New frame. Safety over joy, contract live. Joy is training. Thank you, I'm letting this land. 2 breaths. You're teaching your DMN that visibility can end in warmth. What about big spikes where thoughts go feral? You don't argue content. You downgrade to labels. Red story. Old map loud. Fear glitch, not gut. Say it, then run the 90-second reset. When breath slows, you can pick a fuller line. Order matters. Body first, then words. Well, no kidding, but we forget it when we're cooked. Cognitive anchors help when you're alone. Short, repeatable truths. Say me, new move, safe now. I can stay me while we stay we. Relief now, then one step. Respect equals clear and kind. Draft, not destiny. You pick 3 anchors and wear grooves in them. Boring on purpose. The brain learns from repeats. Translate social shame too. After truth, you feel a cringe wave. Old frame, I did wrong. New frame, social prediction from old data. My body expects loss, because once, loss followed truth. Data noted. Then text a safe person a dot. Co-regulation turns theory into felt safety. Edge cases matter. Flatness after a win can scare you. Old frame. I don't care anymore. New frame. DMN quiet. Repair mode, meaning returns after rest. Eat. Light, 10-minute walk. Then log. Flatness after novelty, expected. You're teaching future you that this is routine, not ruin. You can also pre-frame before novelty. Write one line you'll say after. After the call, I'll say, I'm safe imperfect. After the gym entry, I'll say, body showed up, that counts. Pre-frames shorten the uncertainty window. The system expects repair, so it panics less. Let's address the voice in your head that says, this is lying, it's not. Gaslighting is denying reality. Reframe is picking the level of reality that helps you move. The biological facts stay. The amygdala tags surprise as threat. The DMN hates cliffs. Chemistry spikes for 90 seconds. You're not saying danger isn't real. You're saying, this danger is a learning signal, not a bear. So you're telling me all I need is catchphrases. No. You need accurate short translations that you can say under load, paired with body resets and tiny acts. Words alone don't stick. Words plus breath, plus reps, rewire priors. Last moves. Script your red day reframes now. Today is a repair shift. Doing less is training. And script your yellow training window. One brave line, then stop. And your green. Bank this. Plan. Don't prove. Stick them on your fridge. Use them before you need them. Reframe turns alarms into guides. It gives the DMN a kinder story to stitch when it comes back online. Next, we make sure the body actually believes you. We regulate fast and build capacity so the words have somewhere to land. Regulate, vagus resets, and capacity building. So we've got labels and reframes. Now the body has to believe you. Regulation is how you change chemistry fast, then raise capacity slow. Acute resets first, then training. Short, simple, repeatable. We're aiming for safe enough, not Zen monk. Start with the exhale bias. Long out, soft in. Purse your lips and breathe out for 6 to 8 seconds, like you're cooling soup. Pause 2 beats. Inhale through your nose for 4. 5 rounds. The long exhale nudges the brake pedal. Your heart rate drops. Your midbrain hears. We're not sprinting anymore. Add humming. Pick a low note and hum through one exhale till your chest buzzes. You don't need to be musical. The vibration hits the vagus where it lives behind the sternum. 2 or 3 hums can soften a red spike faster than a pep talk. Keep the jaw loose. If your face is clenched, your body thinks you're biting something. Cold splash works when your head is loud. Cool water on your cheeks swoop across the eyes, down to the jawline. 30 seconds. Not ice torture, just cool. The dive reflex tugs your system toward rest and digest. If you can't splash, press a cool can to the sides of your neck for 20 seconds each. Orienting is the quiet hero. Turn your head slow. Let your eyes land on 3 corners, 3 colors, 3 textures. Say them out loud. Blue mug, wooden desk, gray curtain. You're proving to your midbrain that the horizon is empty. Predators don't wait by ficus plants. The field widens. Breath follows. Eye soften is tiny and strong. Let your gaze go a bit blurry and wide, like you're looking past things instead of at them. Near focus cues task and hunt. Wide focus cues safety. Try near for 3 seconds, then wide for 10. Feel the shift. It's basically like taking your foot off the brain's gas. Those are acute tools. 90 seconds total, then back to life. Now, capacity work. This is your offstage training so edges don't ring alarms as fast. CO2 tolerances first. Sit tall. Inhale easy for 4. Exhale for 6. Do that for 3 minutes. When your air hunger rises, keep it gentle. You're teaching your body that rising CO2 isn't danger. Better tolerance means calmer breath under stress. Zone 2 is the identity gym. 10 to 20 minutes of easy movement where you can talk in full sentences. Walk, bike, slow row. Heart steady, breath smooth. You're building mitochondrial capacity, blood flow, and a baseline your brain trusts. Low hype, high return. 3 to 5 times a week beats 1 brutal day. Tremor release basics help discharge stuck charge. Lie on your back, knees bent, feet together. Let your knees fall out like a book. Hold for a minute. Then bring knees in a bit. Hold, and repeat until your legs start to tremble. Let them shake. Small, messy, normal. 2 to 5 minutes. Stop while still safe. You're telling your system it can complete cycles without panic. Social safety is regulation, not luxury. Prosody matters. Call a steady friend whose voice drops your shoulders. Ask for no fixes, just presence. 2 minutes can shrink red to yellow faster than any solo hack. Safe touch counts if available. Hand to forearm, palm to sternum, hug with a long exhale. Your skin is a data port for safety. Aftercare is the landing gear. Novelty burns fuel. You need to restore baseline on purpose. Protein within an hour steadies blood sugar and keeps the brain fed. Sodium helps when you're wrung out. A pinch in water can bring you back online. Light your morning and dim your evening. 10 minutes of outside light early sets sleep pressure. At night, lower screens and lamps an hour before bed. It's boring. It works. Build windows, not marathons. 2 to 5 minute sets for resets and training. Stop while you still feel I could do more. Ending on purpose rewires trust. Your DMN learns that novelty ends in care, not collapse. That's how prediction errors shrink over time. Make a tiny menu you actually use. Pick 3 acute resets. Exhale, hum, orient. Pick 2 capacity moves. CO2 set, ZONE2 walk. Pick 3 aftercare bits. Protein, salt water, light. When red hits, you don't browse. You run the preset. Kit complete. Back to baseline. A quick day in the life. Morning. 3 minutes CO2, 10 outside minutes of light. Midday. 90-second exhale, hum, orient before a call. After. Protein bite. Afternoon. 10-minute zone 2 walk. Evening. Dim lights. 2-minute tremor release. Slow breath. That's it. Not a boot camp. A baseline builder. 1 watch out. Don't chase calm as a performance. If you grade every breath, you'll spike red, trying to get green. Aim for a little better. If your exhale got longer by half a second, win. If your shoulders drop a hair, win. Stack tiny wins till your system predicts safety on the way in, not just relief on the way out. Regulation is not about never spiking. It's about spiking smaller, recovering faster, and teaching your body that growth ends in care. From here, we bake change with reps and error budgets. Repeat, so the new identity reps becomes the usual you. This is where change sticks. Identity reps are tiny, daily acts aligned with the new script. Plan an error budget, a set number of novelty units, plus planned wobble. Dose just above comfort. Act first, then log. State, act, effect. Expect backlash windows. They're training, not verdicts. Spaced exposure beats binge bravery. Review weekly. Retire wins. Raise load of hair. Celebrate stability. Add social buffers and aftercare to every representative. Same loop, boring on purpose. Priors shift because you kept your words small and often. 3 real-world walkthroughs. Let's run 3 real lives through this, start to finish, with the 4 rupees doing the heavy lift and the contracts on the table. Career leap first. Maya's a senior PM who's been the fixer for years. She wants to pitch a role shift from firefighter to product strategy. Every time she tries, her chest caves, smile pops, and she offers to help on someone else's deck. Classic Fawn and controller collapse lurking under it. We quiet quit the identity before changing the title. Recognize. She runs 3 body checks a day for a week. Morning reads green. Mid-afternoon reads yellow. Late meetings go red. Triggers logged. Eyes on her. Unstructured time. Praise after a small win. Reframe. She writes 3 anchors and sticks them on her monitor. Sharing at 80. Connection survives. I can stay me, while we stay we. Relief first, then one honest step. Regulate. She runs a 90-second exhale hum orient before any meeting where she might speak, and she adds a 10-minute zone 2 walk at lunch to bleed charge. Aftercare. Protein, salt water, afternoon sunlight. Repeat is the play. Week 1. 1 identity representative a day, low stakes. She posts a 1-paragraph product note to an internal channel by calendar time, not by feeling. Error budget, 2 wobble days allowed. If red spikes, she runs the reset and posts the next day. She texts an ally. Why? 1 note by 3 inches each morning. Ally replies with a warm checkmark. Backlash hits day 3. Praise lands. She wants to shrink. Old contract hums. Safety over joy. She feels flat after hitting send. Recognize red tilt. Reframe to repair mode. Regulate with 2 long exhales. Then she logs. Flatness after novelty. Expected. Next day, she feels steadier. Posts again. Ends on purpose while still safe. By week 2, lift goes up. She drafts a 1-slide vision mock, shares at 80% in her team's stand-up, and ends without selling. The room doesn't explode. 2 weeks in, she schedules a 20-minute one-to-one with her manager and uses a script. 1-sentence vision, 1-sentence why now, 1-sentence ask. She stops. Manager says, I had no idea you wanted this. Let's pilot it next quarter. Outcome. Reduced rebound. Fewer Fawn cleanups. Energy back by 4 p.m. Extracted rule. Quiet quit the old role in public with small proofs. Then ask. Draft by time, not by terror. Praise equals tiny aftercare. Second, relationship boundary. Devin's a chronic smoother. Outsource self and safety over joy are his live contracts. He loves his partner and says yes to everything, then resents it and disappears. He wants to set 1 weekend boundary without a fight. We set scaffolds. Recognize. He knows praise, and last-minute asks flip him red. He sets if-then plans. If asked on Friday after 5, I don't answer right away. I text, I'll reply at 6:30. He prints a red day card. Fewer choices, slow breath, outside light, kind voice. Reframe. Respect equals clear and kind. I can stay me while we stay we. Old map loud isn't destiny. Regulate. Before the talk, he runs exhale hum orient twice, then presses 2 fingers to his wrist. Repeat. He scripts 1 sentence boundary, then a bridge. I'm free Saturday 10 to 2, not Sunday. I want this to work for both of us. Can we plan inside that window? He stops. Here's the messy middle. Shame slams right after he says it. He labels social prediction from old data. He runs the 90-second reset. Eyes scan left-right, and he holds silence. Partner blinks, then says, "Okay, 11 on Saturday?" They plan it. Aftercare. He walks outside, 2 minutes, shoulders drop. He texts his ally a green heart. That night, flatness arrives. Classic. He logs it as expected repair, eats real food, dims lights. No apology tour. The next morning, he wakes with less dread than usual. A week later, he runs a smaller rep, says, "I'm a no to driving tonight. I can order the car." Same structure. By month's end, he has 3 reps logged and no blow-ups. Outcome. Guilt spike still shows, but it's smaller and clears faster. Partner starts asking his preference first. Extracted rule. Pre-commit bridges, speak 1 line, then stop. Let shame be prediction, not proof. Recruit a steady other. Third, health shift. Lena does all or nothing fitness. Suffering equals worth, and future relief contracts tag team. She'll grind for 6 weeks, crash, get sick, and call herself lazy. We kill the cliffs. Recognize, mornings are yellow for her, evenings red. Triggers, hunger, bright gyms, comparison. She sets the plan. 2 minutes of movement daily, cap on purpose. Add 10 seconds every other day. Reframe, relief first, then 1 honest step. Easy counts. I'm allowed to stop. Draft, not destiny. Regulate. 1 sip of water, 1 long exhale, 1 soft hum before any session. Aftercare, sunlight on face, protein bite after, dim lights after 9 p.m. Repeat. Day 1, she puts shoes on, walks 1 minute, sways 1 minute, stops. Logs. Why? Moved 2, mood +1. Day 2, same. Day 5, she wants to just do 20. Old contract whispers. If it's not hard, it doesn't count. She smiles, says her line. My worth is steady, effort is choice, and stops at 250. Ending while safe rewires trust. Week 2, she's at 3 minutes 20. 1 red day pops, after work chaos. She runs her red day card. No new goals. Outside light, slow breath, bed early. She doesn't make up the workout. She resumes the next day. By week 4, she's moving 6 minutes. Not broken, sleeping better, no crash. Outcome, consistency beat intensity. And her identity shifted from on/off to I move daily. Extracted rule. Dose novelty below pride. Cap early. Repair on red days, and let easy count. 3 stories, same spine. Titrate. Log state act effect. Add a social buffer. End. On purpose. Aftercare always. The brain learns from patterns, not pep talks. When growth ends in care, your system writes it as safe. That's why these hold. Next, we'll clear the myths that make people blow up their progress and give you a 1-page plan you can run this week. Pitfalls and myths, what not to do. Here's where a lot of good people blow up steady gains. Myth number 1. Ego death is bliss. If you chase fireworks, you'll miss the work. Real updates feel like grief and cleanup before they feel like freedom. The DMN loosens, meaning thins, and your body runs the death alarm. That's not failure. That's biology. Treat it like a remodel, not a rapture. Dust first, then light. Pitfall, force flood. You get one good day and decide to just rip the Band-Aid. You stack 10 brave acts, skip resets, and wake up cooked. Classic allostatic overspend. The fix. Titrate and track capacity honestly. Dose novelty one notch above comfort. Cap before red. Log state act effect. Boring wins beat heroic crashes. If you can still say, I could go more, stop there. Ending while safe rewires trust. Myth number 2. If I understand it, I'll stop doing it. Insight is not inoculation. Early on, insight raises salience. More salience equals more arousal. You'll spot the fawn faster and feel it stronger. That's not you getting worse. That's your attention system turning the lights on. The fix. Pair every insight with one tiny rep and a reset. Learn it, then do it for 30 seconds, then breathe. Pitfall. Bypass shadow. People try to manifest past role armor without naming the contracts. The good kid and the winner don't retire because you posted a quote. If you don't honor the old job and update the deal out loud, the path stays live. The fix. Name the contract, meet the need, write the new line, rehearse it, under no heat, then test it warm, not hot. Myth number 3. Solo grind is noble. When you're changing identity, social homeostasis wobbles. Isolation reads as danger. Going it alone shrinks your window and feeds the old map. The fix. Safe others expand your capacity. Pick one steady ally. Share colors, not essays. Prime them to reply with warm, short lines. Text a dot after reps. Co-regulation isn't weakness, it's leverage. Pitfall. Data hoarding. You watch videos, save threads, build Notion pages, and never train. It feels like progress because your DMN loves order. Your nervous system doesn't change from bookmarks. The fix. Reps over theory. One move daily. 90-second reset. One sentence act. One log line. If you can't do that, you can't use the 50th concept. Skill lives in your body, not your notes. Myth number 4. Calm is the goal. No, flexibility is the goal. You want a system that can spike smaller and recover faster. If you grade every breath and chase perfect zen, you'll spike red trying to get green. The fix. Aim for a little better. Half second, longer exhale, win. Shoulders drop a hair, win. Stack micro wins till your body predicts care, not collapse. Pitfall, meaning hunting mid-spike. In red, people rewrite their life. They quit jobs, end relationships, buy vans. That's state talking, not truth. The fix. No life calls in red. Mark the calendar. 7-day observation after any big novelty. During that window, log, don't decide. If a decision is still there in green, it's real. Myth number 5. Pain proves worth. If you keep equating suffering with value, you'll sabotage ease. You'll add weight to keep feeling deserving. The fix. Pre-approve relief. Deliver it before and after small reps. Say out loud, easy counts. I'm allowed to stop. Then stop. You're delinking worth from grind, which is the only path to sustainable change. Pitfall. Perfection first habits. You wait for the perfect plan, perfect morning, perfect gym. Meanwhile, your identity stays yesterday. The fix. Draft by time, not by terror. 2 minutes now, Cap. Share at 80 by the clock. Messy starts. Teach your DMN that movement is safe. Perfection can visit later. Maybe. Myth number 6. If I feel guilty, I did wrong. No guilt often equals social prediction from old data. Your body expects loss, because once loss followed truth. The fix. Label guilt as prediction, not proof. Run the 90-second reset. Seek a tiny cue from a safe person. Then watch what actually happens. Update the map with lived data, not fear trailers. Pitfall. Skipping aftercare. You do the brave thing and then sprint to the next. 48 hours later, you feel flat and hate everything. That's not a sign your choice was bad. That's a depleted system. The fix. Aftercare is part of the representative. Protein, salt, light, sleep pressure. Mark it on your checklist. If you don't land the plane, don't blame the flight. Myth number 7. The DMN is the enemy. It's not. It's your story engine. Under threat, it clings to old scenes. Under steady reps and care, it stitches the new story. The fix. Give it clean cues. Start with orienting. End on purpose. Speak one anchor line. You're handing the editor the footage you want, not chaos. Pitfall. Moralizing backlash. You have a wobble, and call it weak. Now your amygdala has two problems: sensation and shame. The fix. Treat backlash as training. Plan it in. Right. 2 wobble windows this week. When they hit, run the red day card. No new goals. Kind voice only. Repair is not a step back. It's how capacity grows. One more quiet myth. Big identity shifts need big gestures. They don't. They need consistent, titrated proof. The body updates on frequency, not volume. So if you're tempted to make a splash, make a system instead. From here, we'll compress everything into a one-page plan you can actually run this week. Even if your hands are shaking, daily plan, the one-page protocol. Let's make this stupid simple. One page you can run for 7 days. Even if you're tired, busy, or mid-wobble. Morning, midday, evening, plus a weekly cadence and a red day backup. Colors. 1 breath, 1 act, 1 aftercare. We're building a boring loop that your DMN can trust. Morning. 3 moves in 5 minutes. First, state check. Stand up, soften your eyes, and do a 10-second scan. Color, breath, posture. Say it out loud in 7 words. Green steady, breath low, plan window. Or yellow buzz, safe enough, cap needed. Or red tilt, slow now, tag the mode, that's your map. Second, breath. Run 1 minute of exhale bias. Purse your lips, and breathe out 6 to 8 seconds. Pause, in through the nose for 4. Add 1 soft hum. You're not trying to win calm. You're telling your midbrain the day starts with breaks, not sprint. Third, 1 identity rep. Capped. Pick the smallest act that matches your new script. 1 sentence draft by the clock. 1 boundary line practiced out loud. 1 minute movement. 2 minute tidy. Stop while still safe. End on purpose even if you could go more. Ending early trains trust. Aftercare micro right away. 1 sip salted water. Bite of protein. 10 seconds of outside light. Mark the representative on paper. MY. 1 sentence draft, +1. You've got data now, not vibes. Midday, you run a quick stabilizer. Before your biggest edge, call, meeting, gym entry. Do a 60 to 90 second orient. Turn your head slow, name 3 corners, 3 colors, 3 textures. Exhale long once. If you spike, hum once. That's it. Then a micro win. 1 honest sentence shared. 1 draft sent at 80. 1 lap around the block. Stop on purpose. After, 2-minute walk. Shoulders down. Sunlight on face if you can. Text your ally a single color. Why done? Ask them to reply with a check or a warm word. No essays. Prosody over philosophy. Evening. Unload and reset. 2 minutes to drain charge. Lie down. Knees bent. Let them butterfly out. Hold till you feel a small tremor, then stop. Or, stand and slow sway to a song with long exhales. Then reflect logs. 3 lines, max, color, act, effect. R, reset, less noise. Y, set boundary, shame wave cleared. G, planned, slept better, closed with 1 cue, and 1 cap for tomorrow. Example, 9:30, 1 sentence share, stop on timer, put the phone down, dim lights. That's sleep pressure training, not aesthetic. Weekly, build your exposure ladder and guardrails. Pick 1 domain you'll train. Work, love, habit. Set 3 rungs, tiny to small. Rung 1, 2-minute act. Rung 2, same act with eyes on you. Rung 3, same act, plus a tiny variable. Assign days. Monday rung 1, Wednesday rung 2, Friday rung 3. Tuesday and Thursday are easy repeats, or red day buffers. Schedule a rest day on purpose. Write it down. Saturday recovery. That means zone 2 walk, light, food, 0 new moves. If guilt chirps, label it as prediction, not proof. Your body grows on rest. Also, set a weekly review. 10 minutes, Sunday afternoon. Skim your log, graph your colors if you want. How many reds turned yellow? How many yellows ended green? Retire wins. If a representative feels boring, cross it off and add a hair of load next week. Upgrade slowly. Your DMN learns from frequency, not volume. Contingencies save progress when life swings. Red day plan goes at the top of the page. If I mark red by 9 a.m., fewer choices, slow breath, outside light, protein and salt, no decisions, kind voice only. 3 moves max. You're not weak. You're training repair. Write your allied text template, R day. Dot replies only, please. Prime them ahead of time. Have a fallback identity representative for chaos days, one that always counts. Examples. Open the doc and write 1 sentence. Walk to the mailbox and back. Send 1, thanks, reply without a joke. 1 sip water, 1 hum, 1 exhale. If you can do nothing else, do that. Log it. You didn't skip. You stayed in the loop. Keep the 1-page layout clean. Top left, today's color at wake. 2 body tells, 1 anchor line. Example, why, chest buzz, plus quick words. Same me, new move, safe now. Top right, 1 identity representative, with a cap. Example, share draft by 2 p.m. 80%. Stop. Middle, midday microplan. Orient before call. Exhale once. Speak 1 sentence. After. Protein bite. Sunlight. 2 minutes. Bottom left. Aftercare kit. Protein. Salt water. Outside light. Dim 9 p.m. Checkboxes. Bottom right. Red day plan and ally queue. Back of page. Weekly ladder. And review slot. That's it. No journal essay. No perfect tracker. Pen wins. You cross things out. Your nervous system likes ink. Couple of pro tips. Tie reps to existing anchors, not willpower. Breath while the coffee brews. Orient at door handles. Hum in the elevator. 2-minute walks after calls. You'll forget less because the cue is physical, not mental. Front load relief. Future relief people, listen. Relief first, then 1 honest step. Sip water before emails. 1 exhale before gym. Say your anchor before you speak. Your body stops holding your breath for permission. Pair novelty with a social buffer. If eyes on you is the trigger, text your ally why 1 line now, the minute before. Ask for the check emoji after. Co-regulation shrinks the prediction error. You're telling your midbrain, we don't go alone into the cave. And end reps while still safe. If you feel, I could go more. End. That ending writes safety into the act. It keeps tomorrow open. Heroics blow fuses. Boring builds baselines. The whole plan fits on one page. You can fold it in your pocket. Morning, color, breath, one capped rep, aftercare micro. Midday, orient, micro win, sunlight, ally ping. Evening, unload, log, hue and cap. Weekly, ladder, rest day, review, and retire. Contingency, red day card and fallback representative. That's your system. Run it for 7 days and watch your story engine learn that growth ends in care, not collapse. By the end of this, it's clear. Your brain guards your past, not your future. That's its job. But with small reps, clean resets, and steady aftercare, it learns new math fast. Run the one-page plan for 7 days. Tag colors. Do one capped act. Log 3 words. If it helps, share this with someone at their edge and compare notes. Subscribe for more Unplugged breakdowns, and drop your hidden contract in the comments with the 1 R you'll train this week.